What is up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Ryan Meyer's Expeditions. Today we're back with the legend Ulua Matt. He's got his other monster truck here. We've got all the Ulua rods, we've got all the spear guns, all the dive gear, the 3 prongs, the cooking stuff. We're gonna spend the night right here on the edge of the cliff. He's actually telling me that we're gonna sleep right there. That's gonna be camp tonight. Pretty sick. The conditions are absolutely gorgeous, guys. The water is beautiful. Right there at the edge of the point where the Ulua rods are gonna go, drop straight off into the blue water. So we're gonna see if we can catch some fish. We're gonna set up camp real quick, take you along, and then eventually we'll be in the water. Guys, how freaking sick is this spot? Look at this. Freaking shade. He's setting up the kitchen right here. He's got cots for us to sleep on. Guys, have you ever seen a view like that? We're out here on the point, we're setting the Ulua rods. We're gonna kind of get everything ready so that when we go diving, we come back and then we're ready just to slide some baits. Matt's telling me right there, it's like 50 feet deep, right there. We got the Ulua rods set, so we're gonna go jump in the water. We're gonna do a dive. We're gonna shoot a bunch of fish. Hopefully too, we're gonna grab some bait so we can put those out here, maybe catch an Ulua tonight. As soon as we hit the water here, I knew I was somewhere special. Big schools of papillos, these omilus all swimming around, uhus swimming all up in your face, beautiful crystal clear water. It is so special to get to go to these places that are so hard to access and kind of really see what this virgin territory looks like. It almost kind of makes you sad to see how good an area looks when there are no people there. I mean, the whole entire island used to look just like this until we came and started hunting, fishing, diving, and collecting and harvesting from the ocean. So as usual, when I go spearfishing, I have certain targets in mind before I ever get in the ocean. I mean, I kind of know what I'm gonna see. There's only, maybe 5 or 10 different species that swim around out here in the zone that I know I'm gonna be in. So each day is different, and every time I go is a different target. And Matt was really looking for some uhu this trip. He wanted to take them back to the family. So I don't shoot a lot of them, but this was a target for today. So I managed to collect a few of those. This is actually my favorite way to shoot uhu right here. I know I've showed you guys the dive bomb technique before. I'll put that thing up above, but I really like just waiting on the bottom and waiting for them to kind of make a mistake and come over to me. I find I get a lot better shots and I connect a lot more often than when I try to dive bomb them. You can see here's another video of me going down and trying to dive bomb an uhu. Now watch what happens here. I'm going down really slow. This uhu is chilling. I mean, he's not afraid of me at all. And I get within range, but I do not make it happen. That's a low percentage shot. It's tough to always make. So really rarely this happens, where I'm down here in a cave looking at something and I actually don't see the fish. And then later when I'm going back and looking at footage, it shows up. So watch here on the left-hand side of your screen. There will be a fish that is totally out of place here, should not be here. Check this out. Beautiful kumu right there on the side of the screen. I've never seen one on this coast down there, but I didn't even see it that day. I had to look at it on the camera later when I got home. So these are really tasty fish. They're not like trophies, but they are delicious to eat. These little Joe Louis goats. And whenever I see them, I usually take a few of these to go home. And this one's no different. Nice stone shot right there. They're super predictable. And if you sit down there and you wait, they'll always give you the shot that you're looking for. This spot was just wild with how many daytime lobster I saw just out chilling. I mean, I never see this, and I saw it multiple times this day, just lobster out cruising, and it was a pretty cool sign for what I might see later on the night dive. We didn't have a lot of time to dive at all, as we just got there in the afternoon and set up camp, but right before sunset, this incredible akule ball, and we were planning to Ulua fish. That was the goal of this trip. So this was an amazing sign to see before we're getting out right there before sunset. I mean, all the predators eat these things. I mean, I really want to make an akule video. I've actually been down there on the pier trying to catch them a couple times, but they're a little bit smarter than me. I'm a little bit better at spearfishing than I'm at fishing, but it was really cool to see them underwater like this just before we got out at sunset. Well, guys, we just got out of the water there. We got a few Really cool fish. We're jumping back in the water right now. The sun has just gone down, and we're gonna try and shoot a couple fish for bait. That's gonna be kind of the plan here. Some what are we looking for? Some small fish, some small little red stuff? Pilanis, nunuis?
Pilani. I want a big 100-pound bait.
You want a 100-pounder bait? Okay. Okay. So we're looking for some big pilanis, maybe some big nunuis, whatever. Something we can put out there, go to sleep, wait for that bell to ring all night long. But yeah, that's the plan. We're gonna jump back in the water here. Hopefully I get a little bit of footage. We'll see. And then we're gonna make a feast, guys, an absolute feast. So we had all the rods out, but we were still looking for baits. And so we got back after dark, and Matt decided he was gonna jump in and shoot some baits. Now I couldn't let Matt night dive by himself, so I jumped right there off the rocks with him, and I could not believe, again, the number of lobsters that are out here in virgin territory. And again, it comes back to that same point where I do night dives all over the island. I mean, this is not everywhere that there's this many lobster. It's simply because you're so far off the beaten path, and it's so special to get to access these kind of remote spots with Matt's giant truck and go and see kind of what the island would have looked like had no people come and kind of taken everything away. Well, guys, that was a pretty cool night dive. Lobsters freaking everywhere. Just really, really cool life. Like, I really, really enjoy a good night dive. We did what we came to do, though. We got some cool baits, some pilanis, some random little Sergeant Major stuff, all kinds of cool stuff. So now we're gonna go slide them and hopefully catch a monster.
Small kind, it ain't bad. Surgeon fish.
That's why they call it a surgeon fish, huh?
Very precise and quick. Painless until it's painful.
That's right. Nice, that's a tasty morsel right there. All right, buddy, come back with an Ulua. Yeah? That's the sound we're looking for, huh? All right, come back with a fish. Check that out. Thank you, Samagram. Guys, if you haven't watched the wonton video, go watch it. I'll put that link up above here. These guys were possibly one of the best things we've ever made. One thing is freaking true. When you come out here with Matt on any of these trips, you eat unbelievably well. It's unbelievable, the food that he pulls out and he cooks right here on the side of the cliff. Smoked marlin, and this is the marlin that Matt caught the other day on the day that I didn't go. Guys, if you haven't seen the marlin video, go check that out, because this is freaking delicious. That looks perfect. It's tough to beat a Kole on the side of the cliff here. We got the big Ulua rods out. Dove all day, fishing all night. Gonna wake up tomorrow. We're gonna dive all day again tomorrow. Life is good. Life is freaking good. Well, good morning, guys. Not a bad place to wake up. Breakfast is served. Wild salmon Matt brought back from Alaska. Conditions are looking pretty good. It looks like a real good current line ripping right in front of us. There's been Ono boat trolling back and forth right here in front of us all day long. So we're gonna jump in, we're gonna swim up current a little bit, check out some new grounds that we haven't been to yet, and see what we find. Fished all night. We got a few really good hits. Unfortunately, nothing pull and drag, didn't catch anything. I'm not sure whether it's Matt that's bad luck or me that's bad luck, but we're gonna hop back in the water and do what we do best. So after fishing all night, we woke up, conditions were beautiful again. We had plenty of light now, we weren't worried, we were in a rush to get back to camp before dark. And I had seen some moo the night before, and that's really kind of what I was looking for. That was my goal. And when I saw these really shallow in this spot, I kind of knew this might be the one. Now, pay attention to my hiding spot. I do not always go and hide like this unless I'm specifically looking for moo. Now also pay attention to the length of this dive. This is not a crazy long dive. This is a dive that anybody can do in very shallow water, but it's the technique that lands this moo. I'm down there, I'm in the shadow, I'm remaining relatively still, I'm moving my head a little bit more than I would like, but overall, I'm pretty calm down there, relaxed. What's crazy is when I'm hunting moo, it's so much harder to get them on camera because my head stays naturally so much lower than it does when I'm hunting other fish. But look at that movement, nice and slow, and then one last lunge to get into range with that 100 centimeter and an absolute stud moo here. I was freaking stoked. We were still looking for those uhus, and what's really cool about the dive bomb technique is it doesn't take a lot of energy. You can do a dive bomb, go down, and not shoot, and that's what happens to me most of the time. I dive, and then maybe I'll stay on the bottom and I'll land there. Or maybe I won't take a shot at all and I'll come back up and I'll move. But right here, I got really lucky and I managed to get a solid shot on this big old bird. Pretty stoked. Matt had some fish for the family. So if you guys have watched my videos at all, you know that I absolutely love Moana Kalis. And this is textbook Moana Kali technique to the T. I see them a lot of times from the surface. And all you've got to do is go to the bottom so slow that you don't scare them, and then sit there and wait, and they'll be curious and they'll come over. Now this is pretty funny here. This almost never happens to me because I don't use my safety, but somehow it bumped on, and I managed to get it off in time and get the shot on this fish here. Pretty lucky there because that big jolt of me kind of anticipating the shot should have spooked that fish, but got lucky and managed to stone this fish. You guys know how much I love to eat these things. Absolutely one of the best tasting fish on the island. So I wish we would have seen one of these the night before, but found this cool little Ulua house. I'm not sure if that's actually an Omilu or an Ulua, the big black one there. I don't know if anybody can tell the difference with this footage, but he was pretty cool, pretty big. I would have loved to catch him on the rod, but just wasn't looking to shoot them today. So we got back to the rods and I immediately wanted to go check on the baits, and I found this Palani still alive, flopping around, looking delicious down there. I have no idea how he didn't get eaten. Our second bait was munched. They had no hook on it, just completely cut off, probably a shark, and probably that big rattle that we heard in the middle of the night. And our third bait was just snagged underneath the rock with no bait on it at all. Well guys, we got out of the water there. Fish all over the place. Unbelievable to get to dive places like this where nobody gets to go. And you can tell right when you get in how kind of virgin the territory is. Big collays all over the place, uhu swimming all around, just really, really special. And if not for a rig like this, and Matt, you just can't get to a place like this. So thank you so much, Matt. That was freaking rad.
Right on, my friend.
We're gonna do much more trips with Matt. Until then, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next time right here on Ryan Meyer's Expeditions.